And right now we're moving into game 2 of 4CEC versus Team Pura. Alright, so we're in the lobby. Again, this is game 2 of a best of 3 between 4CEC and Team Pura. Team 4CEC was able to take the first game after losing Arax early on from Team Pura's push lineup. They were able to come back with Shadow Fiend in the Faceless Void. So let's see how the drafting phase goes in reaction to the previous game. So Team Pura, they ban out the Lycan. Pretty standard. And I think Lycan's Wolves were nerfed as well in 6.82. But I haven't been able to see Lycan in action yet, actually.
Seconds to go.
Because Lycan's been banned pretty much all throughout. 4CEC still banned out the Doom. Doom actually lost his ability to cancel out passives early on. But a bit of a buff towards heroes like Huskar and Anti-Mage because he deals pure damage now and no longer magic.
10 seconds.
So that's the first bans of the game coming in. Team Pura might want to evaluate very
Reserve time.
thoroughly. Team Pura might want to think well who they want to ban right now because they do have first pick. So they don't want to ban a hero that they want to pick as their first hero. But they might want to ban a hero that goes very well against in double in a consecutive pick that 4CEC has. So they might want to ban the Death Prophet or the Tide Hunter. Okay, so still it's gonna be the Terrorblade that's gonna be banned out. Yeah, another thing to note is that Terrorblade and Legion Commander have been introduced into the pool of Captain's Mode heroes this patch. So somehow, yeah, Terrorblade has become an instant ban in both games. 4CEC this time, they ban out the Faceless Void. Earlier on, it was 4CEC that fielded the Faceless Void. But right now, they ban it because Team Pura does have the first pick this time around. So let's see what Team Pura chooses to go with as their first pick. They went earlier on with push kind of lineup. I would say that the pushing lineup was actually effective because they were able to take Rax quite early on. But they weren't able to follow that up because they lacked a carry. They lacked a carry that could take advantage of the bonus gold that Araxes gave and the team fights that they won. So because of that, they just started losing to the right clicks of the Faceless Void and the Shadow Fiend earlier on. So they might want to reconsider their strategy this time around, but they do pick up the Tide Hunter. Again, it was the Tide Hunter in the previous game that just showed so much utility for Team Pura. It was the Tide Hunter that made or broke the team fights for Team Pura. But right now for CEC, they pick up the Death Prophet this time. So it might be them that would be going with an early push lineup, a pushing lineup. It's kind of diminished in effectivity, I would say, because the Tower Gold bounties have been nerfed and have been reduced, and the tier 1s now have a trait wherein that if they die, the fortification cooldowns are reset. So you can't take tier 1s consecutively or tier 1 and then tier 2 consecutively without contest because the fortification is gonna refresh. So unless the team's out of TPs or they really don't want to contest either tower, it's gonna be much harder for you to take down 2 towers consecutively. But for CEC, they pick up the Viper. Still one of the best laners in the game. I don't think he's been nerfed actually, or maybe the Nether Toxin was nerfed. I'm not quite sure if there were changes applied to Viper.
10
Uh,
seconds to go.
but
5
yeah,
seconds.
still Viper's one of the best laners in the game. Gonna be a
Reserve
difficult time
time.
for 4CEC to lane against the Viper. Unless they pick up a tri-lane, or they pick up a guy who's naturally good against a Viper, maybe a Razor. So a Razor against a Viper might actually be an even sort of matchup. So we'll have to see where this goes because Razor hasn't been banned out yet. But Team Pura, in response, picks up the Shadow Shaman.
Dire team
An
ban.
equally competent pusher to against the Death Prophet, I would say. But the Death Prophet would be slightly better in that she can actually pose a threat in the late game as a late game farmed carry, whereas the Shadow Shaman, his utility is actually restricted to his wards and where he places them. If he uses them in an off kind of position away from the towers, that he won't be able to transition the wards into a tower push, whereas Death Prophet
Dire's
can
ban.
move a team fight into a tower push or a tower push into a team fight because the Exorcism spirits follow her around. So next set of bans are gonna come out. Team Pura, they ban out Scarab Mage and Earthshaker, yeah. The dynamic duo, the
10
two long
seconds
range
to go.
supports. So good choice of bans. For CEC,
5
banned out the
seconds.
Silencer, yeah. The Silencer Tidehunter combo giving them so much trouble
Reserve
earlier
time.
on. It was actually the Silencer, I think, the silence that made sure that Team Pura won all the engagements that Tidehunter was able to get a Ravage off on. So the last ban for the second round is gonna get selected by Team 4CEC right now. And they might be looking to ban a mid hero that can go well against the Death Prophet. Excuse me for a bit there. So perhaps a Razor or an equally good harasser as the Death Prophet. The Shadow Fiend actually, but I don't think the Shadow Fiend should be picked in this situation. Or maybe they can. It's kind of a niche kind of hero. But alright, the Pugna. It's gonna be the Pugna
Dire
just to reduce the pushing capability of Team Pura. The Pugna, I would say, is kind of better than Jakiro because the Pugna is also able to damage the creeps as well as the tower when he's casting that Nether Blast. But the next set of picks are gonna come in: the Ancient Apparition and the Witch Doctor. Pretty much instantaneously. Okay, so they've planned this out already. The Ancient Apparition is gonna go well with the Viper, maybe, but the Viper poison attack, yeah, doesn't stack with Ancient Apparition's Chilling Touch. If you cast the poison attack on a hero, then the Chilling Touch
10
isn't gonna deal
seconds
bonus
to go.
damage, and yeah, you're gonna
5
reduce your
seconds.
potential to kill a hero. The corrosive,
Reserve
no,
time.
the poison attack isn't gonna be too effective in slowing down whoever they target, or they won't be able to get too much damage because you're using a poison attack instead of Chilling Touch. So it's one way or another with Viper and Ancient Apparition, but they might go with something else. They go with an Ancient Apparition and the Shadow Demon. So yeah, they might have a solo Viper instead and an Ancient Apparition Shadow Demon support combo going with carry. We'll have to see later on. Team Pura right now, they're gonna have to respond with this. They don't have Faceless Void to go with the Witch Doctor. But they might have something
10
else
seconds
up their
to
sleeve.
go.
The Shadow Demon actually
5
is
seconds.
quite good against the Witch Doctor. Can disrupt the Witch Doctor to cancel the wards. Can disrupt himself
Reserve
to,
time.
or an ally to save them from a bit of damage. So yeah, Shadow Demon kind of fallen off in popularity, but I would say still as good as he was before. Even better, I think, because the Demonic Purge received an Aghanim Scepter upgrade. He will have 3 charges with the Aghanim Scepter. So Team Pura, alright, they pick up the Weaver. That's gonna be their carry. Perhaps learned lesson from the last game previously. They really didn't have a carry. So they weren't able to take advantage of the pushes and team fights that they won early on. But right now they do have a carry, so they do have that potential to transition into the late game, and perhaps a better one at that than Team 4 CECs, because the Death Prophet and Viper, while they're good core heroes, they don't really scale as well as the Weaver can. The Weaver, deals double damage every couple of seconds or so. So yeah, that's just a big advantage when you're going right click against right click, especially in the late game where everyone has big damage items already. So for CEC, they're gonna have a ban. They ban out the mid hero. Yeah, Puck. So good team fight hero right there. Puck and Team Pura, they ban out the carry that they think is gonna be going with that tri-lane, and Wraith King. Yeah, Wraith King I would say is one of the best carries right now in this meta, because the resurrection just gives him so much potential and so much leeway in the early stages of the game. He can go ganking. He can dive towers, and he can practically sacrifice himself in order to ensure a couple of kills in early team fights. But for CEC, yeah, they pick up Nature's Prophet instead, so a bit of ratting action maybe, or maybe they can have a full team fight kind of Nature's Prophet, especially since he has an Ancient Apparition and Shadow Demon combo on his side.
10 seconds to go.
3 ranged heroes definitely gonna be effective on a tri-lane either way, especially since the Nature's Prophet has a long duration lockdown in form of the Sprout early on. But alright, the Shadow Fiend gonna get picked up by Team Pura. So Shadow Fiend switched from 4CEC to Team Pura, so this is gonna be interesting. Shadow Fiend wasn't really popular before, but right now, despite there being no changes to Shadow Fiend at all, no relevant changes pertaining to gameplay, Shadow Fiend has been picked up twice already in this current best of 3. So alright, now we're in the game,
This should be interesting.
and we're gonna have to introduce our teams again. So Team Pura lost the last game, but still by no means out of this match. We have Heinkel on the Tide Hunter, Sol playing as the Shadow Shaman. On the Witch Doctor we have Rapchi, Morphbin on the Shadow Fiend mid, and as their carry this time it's CCC on the Weaver. On the opposite side for CEC, the victors of the last match, it's gonna be Scorch on the Viper, Hearts on the Shadow Demon, Aniko on the Ancient Apparition, and on the Nature's Prophet is ILG, not really leveling up. Now he's moving, so not gonna cliff
Battle will
jungle I
commence
suppose,
in
and Acnologia
10 seconds.
on the Death Prophet. So we see the Tide Hunter moving in, gonna do the same trick, gonna block out the small pull camp with a ward. No contest right there. So alright, it's gonna be the Nature's Prophet instead of the Viper on the solo offlane.
Battle begins.
The Viper has a bit of an advantage right now. The invisibility rune gonna get picked up and not gonna be seen by Team Pura because they do not have a ward in that location, in that particular rune spot. Yeah, the Nature's Prophet might see this bounty rune. Yeah, places the ward there and should see this bounty rune. Gonna pick up that bounty rune and gets a bit of an advantage, just 1.5 creep advantage at this point in the game. He's gonna go against a tri-lane, so it's definitely gonna be hard for him. But on the opposite side, the Viper still has that invisibility. Might make a move. Shadow Shaman right now disrupts the Tide Hunter, so we might see a first blood. Yeah, we have the Tide Hunter getting slowed down. Still has no Kraken Shell, and he falls to this tri-lane with a massive damage coming in from the Chilling Touch and the Viper slow from the poison attack. So yeah, that's a 500 gold bonus going for Team 4CEC right before the 1 minute mark. And yes, I did get the screenshot of that. So, yeah, Death Prophet here. Again, it's a Death Prophet versus Shadow Fiend mid. Again, Shadow Fiend on the Radiant side and Death Prophet on the Dire side. But the teams have switched, so the matchup might play differently this time. In terms of last hits, yeah, we should look at the last hits. Again, it's Acnologia, getting the better exchange in last hits and the nice. Earlier on, yeah, he was the Shadow Fiend actually. Was killed early on because of his over aggression, but still, yeah, was actually better at last hitting than the mid. If it was Morph Bin on the Death Prophet earlier on, yeah, Acnologia was able to win the mid lane. But right now, pretty much evening out. So let's leave this for now. I don't think someone's gonna die soon. The Shadow Fiend is low. The Death Prophet might not want to dive, since she doesn't have her bottle yet. Gonna get the bottle soon. Pretty much 680. I think the bottle has increased in price. Actually, the bottle is 700 right now. So 50 increase there. Been nerfed consecutively. But we see a Nature's Prophet just threatening to move in on the Shadow Fiend. Not really gonna make a move there. But yeah, if we check out the trial lanes, the Viper is pretty much able to farm freely here on the top lane. Not too contested. Actually, they've been able to zone out the Tidehunter so well, just because they're 3 ranged heroes, and yeah, the Viper deals a lot of damage from that Nether Toxin. The Nature's Prophet also getting a bad deal out of this situation, just because you can't really go in against the Weaver and the Shadow Shaman. The Shadow Shaman is guaranteed to have either a bit of burst from the Ether Shock or long duration shackle combined with a Hex, but right now it's an Ether Shock paired with a shackle combo. So they do the stun right now on Nature's Prophet. They tried to move in, but the Shadow Shaman was just too far behind, not able to shackle, and the bounce actually didn't go through to the Nature's Prophet. So missed opportunity there. This Nature's Prophet gonna have to play a bit more cautiously after that gank attempt right there. So you might see that reflect in the movements of these players. But yeah, in terms of net worth, the Nature's Prophet still has a better exchange than the Tidehunter. And in terms of EXP per minute, yeah, the Tidehunter is sitting at the bottom. Can't really get into a good position because he's a melee hero against 3 ranged heroes, even as tanky as he is, and even with the Kraken Shell. Oh no! Tidehunter actually bought a Stout Shield. No, Tidehunter, the Stout Shield does not stack with the Kraken Shell. Once your Kraken Shell hits level 2, then your Stout Shield is pretty much useless unless you go for a Crimson Guard maybe. But even then, you know, it's better picked up by a different kind of support because it's not gonna help you too much. So let's just see where this goes. It might be an interesting pick, might be to their advantage either way. But Death Prophet has a DD rune. In terms of last hits and nice, okay, a bit better for the Shadow Fiend, but EXP is pretty much equal. The Death Prophet moves in, gets a good hit on the Shadow Fiend. The Nature's Prophet moves in, the Sprout misses. Okay, so predictive Sprout right there, but it doesn't catch the Shadow Fiend as the Shadow Fiend moves straight back. So the double damage rune gonna expire right now, and not gonna be able to take down the Shadow Fiend. So on the opposite side, because the Nature's Prophet moved out, now the Weaver is able to free farm here at the bottom, sitting at 4th place. The Viper still a commanding lead over the farm charts at 32, just because the Nether Toxin pretty much guarantees that he gets the last hits, and also because the 2 supports are doing a great job at zoning out the Tidehunter. Tidehunter right now still at level 3, gonna get level 4, but yeah, not too much in the way of gold. Only 3 last hits. The Nature's Prophet also having a hard time. 7 last hits, but still doing better than the Tidehunter, and has been able to pick up quite a bit of EXP by moving and getting some runes. So the runes are pretty much been secured by 4CEC all throughout. I don't think a rune has been taken by Pura, but right now they're moving in on Tide Hunter, a lot of aggression, and the Nature's Prophet teleports in just to ensure that kill. So again, that's the second kill on Tide Hunter, and yeah, that kill went to the Nature's Prophet. Yeah, blinks in the nick of time just to secure that kill. This tower might fall. Yeah, this tower is definitely gonna fall. The treants are there, and 4 heroes just gonna deal that right-click damage. A fortification comes up, but yeah, no teleports in. I guess it's okay to use the fortification since the fortification is gonna get refreshed anyway if that tower falls. So might as well use it and buy yourself some time. But right now in exchange, the siege creep wave is here for Team Pura. A fortification comes up on the tower, but unless they respond, this tower is still gonna fall. The Nature's Prophet moves in and doesn't really have a skill to turn back this creep wave, but Team Pura retreat on their own. Might sense something bad happening. Tide Hunter getting pinged out by the Shadow Fiend, or is it the Shadow Demon? They're both yellow, so I'm not quite sure as to who's pinging out. I think it's the Shadow Demon. Yeah, the Shadow Demon. It's pinging on the Viper. Hey Viper, let's go kill this Tide Hunter again. Might not be able to without the Ancient Apparition. Also because they've moved in the Tide Hunters in quite deep already. It's gonna be much harder to dive a tier 2 tower this time around. So might not see any aggression on that level. On another note, I'd like to point out that there have been more paths added on the Radiant jungle. You can actually move through here now. Through here, this line, I think that's an opening, and then here as well. So a lot more opportunities for you to gank the Radiant offlane. Right now, the Ancient Apparition actually falls to the Shadow Shaman, but the Shadow Fiend also picks off the Death Prophet, so that's a 2-for-0 exchange going for Team Pura. And they might take this tower. They're definitely gonna take this tower as well. And the Weaver just gonna take that last hit, and yeah, that ensures the Weaver gets quite a bit of gold. 3,700, 3,800 on net worth, not bad. Might be able to hit 12-minute or 14 minutes Lincoln Sphere if he keeps the farm up. But I think it's lower now because the tower bounty has been reduced. So might take a bit more time. Shadow Fiend and Viper looking for someone to pick off. They're picking on the Shadow Fiend, so they might want to rotate on the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend backs up for safety. And Shadow Shaman gets his smoke cancelled, so he knows someone's there. The Shadow Demon's there, disrupts the Shadow Fiend, but it's too late for the Shadow Demon, I would say. But the Shadow Fiend, yeah, the Viper has strike, takes out the Shadow Fiend, and the Shadow Shaman falls at the tail of that engagement. The Shadow Demon's still alive, and the Witch Doctor teleports out to safety, so that's gonna be the end of that. It was the Shadow Shaman and the Shadow Fiend falling to Team 4CEC, and the Exorcism Spirits are cast here at the Radiant Ancients. So they're gonna steal quite a bit of farm from the Tide Hunter, and they can see this. The Observer Ward of the Radiant is still up on this area, so they see what's happening here. But they might look to contest this. They will. The Witch Doctor teleports in. He doesn't have the Death Ward yet, but the stun is there, lands on a couple of heroes. Disrupt goes in on the Shadow Fiend, and a lot of damage coming in on the Shadow Fiend from the Disrupt. And the Tide Hunter Ravages there, gonna catch out the Viper. The Viper falls, and the Ancient Apparition died earlier on. Now the Shadow Demon is gonna fall to the Shadow Fiend, and that's 3-for-0 exchange for Team Pura. Yeah, I got a bit greedy in trying to farm this Ancient stack. It's not really worth it if you don't have a good AoE clearing ability for the Ancients. At that, they're not even too much. I think only a few skills remain that affect the ancients. The alchemist, poison spray. But right now, they're moving in. The Viper is not in range, not quite in range for the Viper's side. So they're not gonna pursue any further. Not gonna dive that tier 1 tower. And 4 heroes here in the mid for Team 4 CEC. Might look for push here, but instead I think they're moving to the bottom lane. No, they pick up a bounty rune, and instead they're gonna shift around. Yeah, Nature's Prophet back to farming. Oh, okay. So, yeah, previously we've seen the Nature's Prophet go with Blade Mail and 2 Null Talisman build. Kind of unusual, but it's worked for the pros, so it might work for everyone else. But right now, yeah, this is just a level up. Blade Mail and 3 Null Talismans. So, new meta right there for Nature's Prophet. A smoke rotation coming in from the Shadow Demon and Ancient Apparition. But they're not gonna find anyone there. The Viper sitting in with a hefty 5,200 farm, but the Shadow Fiend has overtaken them. I guess from the last teamfight engagements, from the kills. So yeah, the smoke is gonna wear out in maybe 10 or so seconds, 12 seconds. Oh no, the Shadow Demon's got out and he's definitely gonna die. The Death Ward is cast and gets the Shadow Demon, but the Ancient Apparition is able to back off, and no one else is gonna die from that engagement, just the Shadow Demon. Still, that's a lost support. Still, that's around 500 gold given to Team Pura. So 12 minutes in. Let's check the net worth. Yeah, it was a dip a while ago, 2,000 for Team 4C EC when they got the 2 kills for nothing in the middle, but at the middle ramp. But right now, Team Pura has the advantage, and EXP, yeah, Team Pura definitely has the advantage. So movement here from 4C EC towards the bot, not gonna find anyone. Nature's Prophet still farming, has the odd Blade Mail Null Talisman combo. I don't know what you are gonna do with that, but the Death Prophet has the Yule Scepter up. Up in a bit. So okay, a call from the Nature's Prophet telling a teammate to come with them, but it went to all chat. So the Nature's Prophet gonna get caught by the Weaver. Oh, the Blade Mail used by the Nature's Prophet might actually get the Weaver, but no, the Weaver just moves out, and then the Nature's Prophet dies from the 3-man movement there. But here at the middle lane, the Tidehunter blinks in, and immediately followed up by the Shadow Fiend ult. And that takes 2 immediately from 4CEC, the Death Prophet and the Ancient Apparition. The Shadow Demon getting low, might get a few hits from the Shadow Fiend, and gonna get killed by the Shadow Fiend in combination with the Tidehunter. Gosh. So that's 3 for nothing for 4CEC. Good show of force coming in from Team Pura. Much better than the previous game, I would say. They actually have the tower advantage right now, 2-1, and they also have make that 4-1 after this tower falls. 3-1 after this tower falls. With Shadow Shaman gonna pay the price probably. Yeah. Nature's Prophet takes him down, and maybe a bit more farm from these wards, but still that's a tier 2 tower loss. So still in favor of Team Pura, especially since they only lost the Shadow Shaman support. Right now the score is 10-5. Net worth 4,000 in favor of Team Pura. In terms of net worth, yeah, it's Shadow Fiend and Weaver clearly ahead. 7,500 and 6,500. The Viper still doing farm. Still has halfway to go before he gets that Aghanim Scepter up. But already has a mech, so might perform better in team fights. Death Prophet uses the Exorcism right now just to finish off this 180 HP tower, and they do get it. The deny attempt failed from the Shadow Fiend, and now they follow up with the smoke. But yeah, the smoke was used under the ward vision from the Radiant, So they might not be able to do anything here. The Weaver knows that the smoke is coming. Shikuchi's
Dire's top tower
back,
is being attacked.
but no, doesn't teleport out. So the Weaver is gonna get seen by the Death Prophet. They see the Weaver right now. The Weaver still in Shikuchi mode. The dust is gonna catch the Weaver, but they're really out of position right now. So I don't think they can catch the Weaver. Oh, the Weaver moves back. Is actually hit by the Nature's Prophet ult, but here we have an engagement coming in. The Night Hunter still has 6 seconds on the cooldown. The wards, the Serpent Wards and the Death Wards both come down. The Viper, Ancient Apparition, and the Death Prophet has fallen. The Nature's Prophet is next, and the Shadow Shaman falls to give Team Pura a 5-man team wipe. Alright, so a big win for them. That's 5 men down for 5C, EC, and Team Pura only lost the Shadow Shaman, and he dropped the wards at that. So, well played by Team Pura, and the gold advantage definitely gonna show for Team Pura later on. And in terms of EXP earned, yeah, that's gonna be a big boost for Team Pura, especially since both of their carries stayed alive and were there. The Ancient Apparition ult gonna hit all 4 of them. Not gonna do much, I would say. Everyone still has a decent amount of HP, but the Witch Doctor is not gonna be able to use the Voodoo Restoration for a bit. Now he can. The A ult effect has worn off, but everyone seems to be backing off. 4C EC moving in to engage anyone who's left behind. The Shadow Demon just barely able to scout out the Tide Hunter. But right now, yeah, we have an engagement. Now there's the Ravage. The Ravage wasn't expended in the earlier engagement. Shadow Demon and Death Prophet die instantly. But the Witch Doctor falls from the Viper. And so did the Shadow Shaman. So that's 2 supports for a support in the core. Still not going in favor of 4C EC. Death Prophet is not the hero you want to die. So in terms of net worth, yeah, still definitely the lead of Team Pura. Nature's Prophet moves in on the Shadow Fiend, activates the Blade Mail, but Shadow Fiend's not gonna attack the Nature's Prophet, not gonna give him the light of day to use that Blade Mail. So yeah, net worth and EXP earned advantages to Team Pura. Let's take a look at the items right now. Shadow Fiend has that blink and was able to utilize that just so very well, especially in conjunction with the Ravage. So better than the Shadow Fiend with the Shadow Blade earlier on, I would say. Shadow Shaman still a bit off from perhaps getting an Aghanims. He has the point booster. But no big items really for Team 4C EC. Death Prophet has the Scepter of Divinity, the Yules, but not really going to contribute to damage
Radiant's bottom tower
overall.
is being attacked.
Right now they're doing a push here in the bottom lane. Gonna take this tier 1 tower. Fortification is used. Only has 2 more seconds, and the Death Prophet ult is gonna start sting again, and they take tier 1. But they move in to catch this Death Prophet, and this Prophet is gonna pay with his life for the tower. But the Witch Doctor is also caught by the Prophet in the back. Cast the Death Ward, but not enough. He's already half dead before the Death Ward came up. But the movement here, they catch out the Tide Hunter, and they were actually able to pick off the Shadow Fiend. So that was a 4-for-1 exchange for Team 4C EC, including the bottom tower. So those exchanges might be what they need. Might be what brings them back into the game right now. So net worth and EXP gonna take a slight dip towards Team 4C EC right now. However, during all of that, the Weaver is still getting free farm. Still at top of the net worth, 9,800 gold. Right above the Shadow Fiend. So 4C EC, even if they won that last team fight, still have a bit of catching up to do, but not too much. The Nature's Prophet actually has 9,500 gold, so quite decent, even if you compare it to the Weaver. And the Viper has 9,000 gold, so only 1,000 gold behind from the leader right now. Alright, so let's see how they should strategize their gameplay right now. The Ancient Apparition will gonna hit the Witch Doctor. Nature's Prophet tried to move in but cancels at the last second. Instead goes back to base. So no pursuit there for the Witch Doctor. They probably knew that everyone else was behind them, so it's not gonna be worth it. Just for the Witch Doctor, just for a support. So pings are coming in. They thought they saw the Ancient Apparition, but it's actually just an illusion. So nothing there for Team Pura. Smoke came in from Team 4 CEC. They do have a smoke active, but if they're gonna look for a team fight, the next one's gonna happen here in the mid, as Team Pura look to push down. Team Pura looks to push down this tier 2 middle tower. But the Ravage is used by the Tide Hunter. Almost the Shadow Fiend was able to pull off the sword, but was immediately disrupted. Now casts that Requiem and hits 2, hits 3. The Ancient Apparition still slowed and 3 die. But the Nature's Prophet and the Viper at the back cleaning up. The Tide Hunter is gonna fall to the Nature's Prophet and the Viper, and the Weaver almost dies. Was able to Shikuchi out. Right now is out of the time lapse, out of the Shikuchi, but yeah, was able to move out just in the nick of time. So that's a 4-for-2 exchange, I think. Did someone buy back? Yeah, the buyback came from the Ancient Apparition. Wasn't really too useful. Now he has the Ice Blast, but Weaver smartly out of that path, and the Ice Blast is not gonna hit the Weaver. Actually picks up a regeneration room, but okay, so Nature's Prophet, a bit of ratting action right now. Taking that opportunity, winning a team fight to push this tower down, but moves out just as the Weaver started to move in. So this tower still a bit out of deny range. Good judgment there from the Nature's Prophet. Might want to reserve that for later. Either way, they don't want that denied. Nature's Prophet sitting at 7-2 at the kill death score, and actually at the top right now overtook the Weaver and the Shadow Fiend at 1,647 gold. Doesn't have a Midas, but instead went with the Blade Mail and the Maelstrom build, and is right now building into a Mjolnir. Already has the recipe, just needs the Hyperstone. But yeah, Nature's Prophet was able to take down the Witch Doctor here on top solo. Perhaps because of the Blade Mail, but the Maledict right there is gonna prevent the Ancient Apparition from the Nature's Prophet from blinking. But the blink comes in right before the Shadow Fiend moves in, but the Shadow Fiend able to catch that last raise. Right now, everyone moves in back. Ancient Apparition and Viper are gonna hit the Tide Hunter with right clicks, and this Viper might get the Tide Hunter. He does. The Shadow Fiend casts the Requiem, but not much follow up after that. So a wasted Requiem. Just used the BKB and the teleport, so that's a 9 second duration BKB wasted. And yeah, the cooldown of Requiem of Souls. And the Exorcism Spirit's still actually up. Gonna be able to take down this tier 2 tower if that's uncontested. Shadow Shaman moves back, harasses the Shadow Fiend with the Disrupt Illusions. And the Shadow Shaman taking a lot of right click damage from the Ancient Apparition and the Viper. Sprout coming in from the Nature's Prophet. They won't find anyone. But okay, the Shadow Fiend and the Witch Doctor actually fall to the Nature's Prophet's ult, I think. And a bit of damage. So that's 2,300 gold swing now. If you take a look at net worth, it's really taken a dip from Team Pura's advantage. Maybe right now to Team 4C's favor. The Shadow Fiend buys back. Oh, the Tide Hunter Ravages there. The Shadow Fiend doesn't have the Requiem quite yet, but the Weaver's there, hitting with the Desolator damage. This Ancient Apparition gonna be able to TP out, and the Death Prophet gonna get picked off by the Weaver at the tail of that engagement. So yeah, everyone else managed to TP out. So that's a 3-4-0 exchange, but they did manage to take down the tier 2, the tier 3 tower at the top lane. So yeah, pretty familiar. Okay. Pretty familiar story to earlier on. It was the same thing that happened. The Radiant top tower, tier 3 was pushed, but the tier 3 top for Team 4C EC was actually lost their racks in the previous game. Right now, all the racks are still up for Team Pura, so might not be exactly the same story. Teleport coming in, gonna defend this tower. Weaver comes in and gonna farm this bottom lane, but still the tower is out of deny range. So might have, maybe he should have waited for that tower to come into deny range before he teleported in, just to deny the gold from 4C EC. Movement right now coming in from Team Pura. They have a smoke, but not gonna find anyone. No one's there. Nature's Prophet farming some ancients. Pinks went out on the Roshan earlier on, but I don't think any team right now has the capacity to do a stealth Roshan without triggering alarms, and I don't think either team has the capacity to execute a perfect team fight at the Roshan at this point in time. It can still go either way depending on a lot of factors. But right now, yeah, the Nature's Prophet attempting a bit of rat here at the mid tower. Shadow Fiend gonna farm a bit, but yeah, gonna back off. Right now, net worth again. The Weaver is back on top, but the Nature's Prophet and the Viper have reclaimed their position over the Shadow Fiend this time. So EXP earned, yeah, in favor of 4C EC, and net worth also in favor of 4C EC, but right now less than 2,500 gold either way. So still a close game. Still might go either way. This Nature's Prophet, however, he does have the Mjolnir, has top net worth, and just going all out rat. They need to keep defending this this top lane of racks, or else they're gonna lose it solo to Nature's Prophet. Tidehunter blinks on Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet gonna teleport out. Tidehunter's deciding whether or not he should ravage and decides not to. Yeah, the Nature's Prophet teleports out. But alright, the Roshan gonna get taken by 4C EC. Perfect distraction there from the Nature's Prophet. Even if the Nature's Prophet died, that would have been worth it if they can take the Roshan, and they do. So space created by Nature's Prophet, didn't even have to die. The Weaver there caught out by Nature's Prophet, but Nature's Prophet doesn't have a silence. So the Weaver's just gonna be able to Shukuchi away. Death Prophet Exorcism Spirit's about to expired right now. So that's the end of any team fight or push movement that they want to do. The Weaver, however, is level 18 actually, and is only less than 500 gold to completing his BKB. So might be a bit of trouble for Team 4C EC if they don't have a response against the Weaver with the BKB. I'm not sure though if the Demonic Purge slows purges BKB. I don't think it does. No, it only slows magic immunity. Right now, stun's coming up on the Viper. Shadow Shaman falls. Shadow Demon falls immediately. Ravage catches out too. Viper immediately falls, but it has the Aegis, so it's gonna respawn. Responds, and right now has pretty much nothing. And okay, so he's still alive then? Yeah, he managed to survive that, and they managed to turn that around. So it's a 4-for-2 exchange after the Aegis for 4C EC, and that's a 2,000 gold swing in their favor. So yeah, fights are still going the way of 4C EC. I thought pretty much for sure that would have been Team Pura, since they were able to catch out the Viper without reinforcements. But yeah, the Nature's Prophet and the Death Prophet, I think, were able to cut off Team Pura from the back of that area. moved in from the back of the ramp, from the back here. Okay, so that might have been the difference in that engagement, especially since the Ravage was used early on already. Right now, the Exorcism Spirits are coming up from the Death Prophet, and they're moving in to take down this tier 3 tower. The Witch Doctor is gonna fall from the big damage of the Force EC. The Death Ward is cast, but is that the Death Ward? Something sounds funny. The Death Prophet is getting harassed, low health, but still has the Spirits gonna heal her soon. The Weaver, very low on health, might not want to stick around. Still has a Lincoln's, but yeah, he's gonna move out of this area. Lincoln's not gonna block that AoE damage from the Crypt Swarm, so not a good idea for Weaver to stick there. And Weaver does move back. Nature's Prophet, with that rat ability, takes down the last tier 2 tower of Team Pura. And things are getting easier for Team Pura actually. They do have the carries, they do have the Weaver and the Shadow Feet, but they really need to come back convincingly like Team 4CEC did in the previous game. Still, they have all lanes of racks and 2 tier 3 towers, so it might not be that bad. So let's check on the items. Right now, the Tide Hunter has the Pipe and the Blink. Shadow Shaman, Mana Boots, and not much else. Just the beginnings of an Aghanim Scepter. Witch Doctor actually has 2 out of 4 components of Aghanim, so not so bad. The Nature's Prophet was able to pick off the Witch Doctor. Right, they're now gonna teleport out, but it's gonna get cancelled by the Shadow Shaman. So easy pickings for the Viper. Yeah, the Ice Blast gonna hit no one right there. So we have an engagement right here on mid. This Death Prophet might fall. Pinks are coming out on the Death Prophet. They might want to catch this. The Weaver moves quickly enough and is gonna kill the Death Prophet at the end of that retreat. Now the Weaver is looking to move forward. They hit the Viper with a gush. Viper has no choice but to use the BKB, but still falls. So Viper, not really good positioning from him. Not very smart there. Went solo. Yeah, but so that's 3 heroes down actually for Team 4CEC. They've also lost the Death Prophet and the Nature's Prophet. So right now we're looking at potential tier 3 siege from Team Pura. They know that 4CEC only has 3 players, but the Nature's Prophet buys back. The Nature's Prophet is their big right click hero. Gonna move in on the back of the Shadow Fiend, casts the Sprout on himself. The Tide Hunter gonna get hexed. There's someone, the Nature's Prophet goes very low and die back on the Nature's Prophet. The Ravage cast hits everyone. The Ancient Apparition falls and maybe the Shadow Demon soon. But the Death Prophet with the Exorcism manages to push everyone back. And the Weaver getting a bit of aggression here. Almost died. Yeah, so that's 3-0, 2-0 exchange, I think. But you have to count that there was a buyback, there was a dieback. So in terms of net worth, yeah, the Weaver is clearly winning. He just needs to put his items, get his next set of items up, because he doesn't really have too much damage items right now. Only has a BKB and the Desolator, so might want to get a Monkey King bar soon. But they take down the mid tier 3 tower of Team 4CEC. Tide Hunter moves in and lots of damage coming in on the Viper. Shadow Demon gonna fall from the Death Ward and a bit more. The gem is dropped. They tried to get the gem. Tide Hunter wants to get the gem, I think, but see, Ancient Aversion has a last second hustle catch right there. The Shadow Demon blinks in, isn't able to cast the Requiem of Souls, but they might lose their melee racks right now, and they do. They lose first racks and the first lane of racks right now with the range racks right there. Shadow Fiend gonna try to teleport out, but the Euls is there to cancel Shadow Fiend, BKB's out. Too bad he didn't BKB and teleport, but the Tide Hunter is gonna shatter definitely from the Ancient Apparition ult. Shadow Shaman gonna get killed by the massive right click damage. Nature's Prophet moves in and catches the Shadow Fiend. Activates the Blade Mail, not gonna be able to, Shadow Fiend's not gonna be able to attack him. But right now, Shadow Fiend is able to blink to safety, perhaps. He has no TP scroll, but he has the blink dagger, so he has to keep moving anyway. Nature's Prophet goes to the top lane, decides to push for now. But Shadow Fiend, yeah, Shadow Fiend doesn't see the Invis rune right now, but decides to move back home, and that's gonna be okay for him. At least he didn't die. And Viper, yeah, Viper's still annoying to deal with. Viper still has that Aghanim Scepter. Even if he doesn't have too much damage items, the Nether Toxin is more than enough to compensate for any damage that he needs. Ancient Apparition killed someone. The Shadow Fiend, I think that was from the Ice Blast, maybe. Yeah, it was from the Ice Blast, but I didn't see how. Oh yeah, the Shadow Fiend still was in low HP and still walked back to the base. So Ancient Apparition finished that off with an Ice Blast. Lucky for him, and now he's able to build into that again. So right now, yeah, Nature's Prophet is gonna attempt to push. There's 3 of them right now. 3 of 4 CEC on top lane. They cast the Exorcism Spirit, so they need to be able to transition this, or else it could be a waste. The Titan is gonna get hit by Ancient Apparition, so it's gonna shatter. Shadow Shaman's already, Shadow Demon's already died. The Weaver also picks up the Death Prophet on top of that, and as well as the Nature's Prophet. So that's a 4-4-3 exchange. I don't think that's worth it since it's the Weaver who's coming up on top of those engagements. But net worth, yeah, it's pretty much close to 0. Experience, pretty much close to 0. So yeah, game could still go either way. Even with this last lane of racks, 4CEC was able to recover from the same situation earlier on, and they might be able to do so in this game as well. Gemo through side, gonna get transferred, I think. Ancient Apparition no longer comfortable holding the gem. So
Dire's top tower is being attacked.
both teams playing less aggressively now, I suppose. They do take down this tier 3 top. Might want to go for the tower, but might be more cautious this time around. So the Shadow Fiend does have the Mantis Style, gonna deal a lot more damage to this tower, and this tower might fall from just the Shadow Fiend. But yeah, they move out, and not much is gonna happen in terms of tower pushing, building pushing for now. But the score is 38-33 in favor of Pura, Team Pura. Yeah, 5,000 gold in their advantage and around 3,000 EXP in their advantage. Still by no means is the game secured for them. It's just gonna mean that they're gonna have an easier time pushing the rest of the lanes in, especially since they don't have tier 2 standing anymore. Alright, so this next wave of racks, yeah, it's them. They might be able to transition this into racks. Exorcist is cast. The Death Prophet does have BKB, so no Ravage stun coming up. Witch Doctor uses the ward. Zones them out for a bit, but Witch Doctor falls. The Shadow Shaman has fallen actually, and they might go on other actors. The Tide Hunter, yeah, gonna fall, and Weaver's just gonna walk away. So in the end, that was a 3-4-1 exchange. I don't think it's just that, but either way, a big exchange from both teams. However, 4C is already down 2 lanes of racks. So it's going to be much harder for them to take this game. They need to be able to push at least the middle lane. They can easily transition to the top lane if they do push the middle lane. But first they need to win one good team fight, one convincing team fight without buybacks, so they can push towards the Radiant towers and the racks. So right now they go for a Roche. This is the second Roche of the game, I think. And no contest right now coming in from Pura. They might not know that the Roshan is getting that the Roshan is being done by Team 4 CTC, but Aegis is dropped. Yeah, Death Prophet picks that up. And the Death Prophet, wow, actually has a Reaver right now. Might be able to transition that into a Heart and make life difficult for Team Pura. But yeah, still top on the net worth is Weaver. Weaver just so hard to kill. 18-0 already on the Weaver. Wow, that's a massive kill streak. Also has a Daedalus and the Heart on top of this Desolator and Linked Sphere early combo. But right now, yeah, things are really looking hard for that Nature's Prophet for Team 4CEC. All in all, Ancient Apparition does have an Aghanims, but the Shadow Demon doesn't have any items on top of him. The Nature's Prophet actually has a Sight of Vice, so yeah, they should be able to stage a good team fight, at least here at the top lane. Yeah, Team Pura are aiming to end this right now. They want to push the bottom lane. I meant the bottom lane of Rax for Team 4CEC. And if they do, it's pretty much GG against the Mega Creeps. Nature's Prophet, however, gonna look for an exchange probably. Gonna look, yeah, it's gonna be the push. Let's see if he gets ignored right now, but yeah, there we go. Defense being staged by Team 4CEC. The wards are gonna get expended, but I don't think they're gonna do much damage right now. The Tidehunter blinks in and ravages, catches through Viper. It's gonna die right from the get-go in the physical death ward. And Death Prophet is called. Yeah, this lane of Rax is gonna fall down. And it's gonna be Mega Creeps. But wait, there's the last glimmer of hope. No. The Weaver survives that and tower falls down. So even if the Weaver dies right now. Wow, that's a big streak. 905 gold. And but I think only the Nature's Prophet was present for that, so only a slight exchange there. 2,000 gold exchange, 3,000 gold exchange all in all. So net worth and EXP earned might be close, but yeah, if you have to examine the state of the game right now, it's definitely in the hands of Team Pura. They're going against mega creeps, all 3 lanes of racks down, but they're not giving up just yet. Maybe they want one solid team fight before they end this game too. Yeah, so right now, yeah, Team Pura probably gonna just look to slack off a bit maybe. But pause. Okay, so pause comes in. Shadow Fiend has to disconnect, and you're gonna have to wait for the Shadow Fiend to reconnect, unless maybe 4CEC calls the GG at this point. Perhaps they should. They don't have anything right now against Team Pura, but they can rat, they can turtle, and they can rat. They did manage to take down the melee top. So maybe if they hold the defense, Nature's Prophet would be able to rat his way to victory. Heh. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see if um, they really are capable of doing that. But right now it's a 45-minute game. Quite long actually. So these 6.82 games, much longer compared to the previous iteration. But right now, everyone is G.
Thank you.
Yeah. The unpause comes out, and this might be one last ditch effort from Team 4 CEC to push down mid and maybe go straight throne. And is it possible? Maybe. The exorcism is up on the Death Prophet. Ancient Aversion might want to stand back for a bit and just aim to get a good Ice Blast that hits everyone. Right now he's relegated to defense. Maybe just because they want his Ice Blast to hit across the map. So right now it's gonna be 4 against 5. Here in the middle lane, the exorcism spirits were used. But yeah, those are just solutions. What's gonna happen? The Nature's Prophet buys back. But the Ravage, Slide Hunter Ravage is there, followed up immediately by the Shadow Fiend Requiem. So much damage coming in, and the physical damage right there from the wards, and the GG is called. That was a big fight, resulting in the GG of Team 4 CEC. And the series is tied, dead even right now, 1-1. Team Pura versus Team 4 CEC. And that was a 46-minute match. Yeah. Much more well played by Pura. Much cleaner match right now, especially since they have 2 carries. Yeah, but this is the second game of the best of 3. Earlier game was taken by 4CEC, and now this game was taken by Team Pura. So we're gonna head to deciding match, game 3, just to settle this best of 3 once and for all. And we're gonna take a 5-minute break before that, and I'll see you guys in the next game.